The NBA trade deadline gave a glimpse into the upcoming potential trade market for Kevin Durant this summer, the Warriors' new life following the Jimmy Butler acquisition, and more. Thus, Hoops Hype has gathered new intel on trade talks surrounding Kevin Durant at the trade deadline, what Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. told Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and the team when he acquired Jimmy Butler, and interviews with Lakers forward Dorian Finney-Smith on his Brooklyn Nets tenure and free agency future, and Warriors frontcourt players Kevon Looney on his upcoming free agency and Quinton Post's view of rookie life in the league behind the scenes. Phoenix Suns star Kevin Durant drew significant trade interest from several teams ahead of the deadline, including the Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies, and Minnesota Timberwolves. While Durant ultimately remained in Phoenix, he's expected to come up again in trade discussions this offseason as he enters the final year of his contract worth $54.7 million for the 2025-26 season. The Timberwolves aggressively pursued Durant in trade talks before the deadline and are expected to circle the wagon again this summer, but were unwilling to part with star guard Anthony Edwards and versatile forward Jaden McDaniels in discussions. Instead, Timberwolves forward Julius Randle and guard Donte DiVincenzo were discussed as part of trade talks for Durant, league sources told Hoops Hype. Minnesota has now won 11 straight games Randle has played, and he has a $94 million player option for the 2025-26 season. DiVincenzo, meanwhile, is shooting 39.4% from three-point range this season and is averaging a career-high 3.7 assists. It's also worth noting that reigning sixth man of the year Naz Reid drew interest from the Suns as part of the Durant trade talks, league sources told Hoops Hype. Reid is expected to decline his $15 million player option for the 2025-26 season and enter unrestricted free agency this summer. Nonetheless, Minnesota hopes to re-sign Reid to a long-term contract, league sources told Hoops Hype. In the meantime, the playoffs will have massive implications for which direction the Suns, Timberwolves, and other teams will go this summer. The Golden State Warriors have turned their season around following the acquisition of Jimmy Butler with a 13-1 record when he's played and ranked third in team defensive rating, 108.7, and offensive rating, 121.5, since February 8 per NBA.com. The move has rejuvenated franchise stalwarts Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, along with the rest of the roster, and included a memorable message from Warriors general manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. "I told them, it's time to win," Dunleavy Jr. explained to Hoops Hype. "Whatever happened this season thus far, where we've had some tough losses and our record isn't what it needs to be, this signals it's time to win. No fuck-saws around. We'll see where we can get to." For Dunleavy Jr., being a former teammate of Butler with the Chicago Bulls gave him a level of comfort in making the blockbuster trade and signing him to a 2-year, $111 million extension. "I think there's a talent level that he brings that we needed at the top of the roster," Dunleavy Jr. told Hoops Hype. "There's also a presence, a competitiveness, and an IQ. We need all those things on the court and in big moments. I think it raises the level of all of our players, not only our role players, but also Steph and Draymond, to know they've got another guy with them that they can look around and feel like, all right, we've got a chance." According to Warriors coach Steve Kerr, the acquisition of Butler is comparable to a former Warriors swingman who went on to become a 4-time champion and recently had his jersey retired by the organization. "Things have clearly turned with him, Butler," Kerr said. "He's a great complement to what we already do with his ability to pass. But what he's adding is that maturity and poise. We've made the Andre Iguodala comparison. He's not the exact same player, but he has the same influence reading what's happening, settling us down, and creating good possessions at both ends." Since joining the Warriors, Butler has averaged 16.8 points, 5.8 assists, 5.6 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game. Credit to Mike Dunleavy Jr. for making that move, and Joe Lacob and Peter Guber for co-signing to make that big of a commitment to someone like that, Green added. It's definitely changed who we are as a team for sure. The Los Angeles Lakers dramatically turned their season around since the calendar flipped to 2025, including a 22-11 record since acquiring versatile forward Dorian Finney-Smith from the Brooklyn Nets in a trade. He's brought a level of toughness, Lakers coach J.J. Redick explained. Certainly, communication and the spirit to want to defend. I think guys have responded well to who he is as a player, a teammate, a person. He's just fit right in. Our season kind of turned around, and the energy and spirit of our group turned around when we got him. He's been huge for us. In his return to Brooklyn for the first time since being traded, Finney-Smith sat down with Hoops Hype in the visiting locker room at Barclays Center to discuss his tenure with the Nets, why he believes coach Jordi Fernandez will turn the franchise around soon, who could be part of Brooklyn's core going forward, playing for Coach Redick, his free agency future, and reaction to the Luka Doncic trade. Dorian Finney-Smith, it was good. I got a chance to play in New York. You know what New York is to the basketball world. It was amazing. I was close to my family. I'm from Virginia, so they were always here. It was a great time, even though it was a little short. I think Jordi Fernandez is a great coach. He's leading this group and headed towards the right situation. DFS, he's a stand-up man. Since I met him, he's been a man of his word about what he expects from his guys. He brings it every day to himself. It's easy to buy in when you've got somebody like that. I've been saying it for a while. I believe Jordi is going to be a coach for a long time. DFS. I still talk to pretty much everybody on that team. CT Cam Thomas, of course, with his talent. Hopefully he gets paid. I want him to get paid this summer. It's well deserved. I want Day'Ron Sharpe to make his money as well. Trendon Watford is a guy I want to find his footing in the league and get a longer contract of 2 or 3 years. Noah Clowney is making more noise and getting more confidence, shooting the ball and playing well. Jalen Wilson continues to bring his energy off the bench. Keon Johnson is a menace on defense. Cam Johnson, we know what he can do. DFS, it's been good. He was my teammate in Dallas for a bit. You could tell he had a great basketball mind. He was a little off. What I mean by a little off is he was super locked in. I feel like all the greats are a little bit off. They care a whole lot and are super passionate about it. He's one of those guys. It's been fun competing and playing alongside these amazing players. Golden State Warriors center Kevon Looney is determined to win his 4th championship in 10 seasons with the franchise while remaining a valued rotation player after hearing his name surface in trade rumors before the deadline and ahead of unrestricted free agency this summer. Looney spoke with Hoops Hype about how Jimmy Butler changed the dynamic of the franchise, how Butler and Draymond Green coexist in the locker room behind the scenes as vocal leaders. The message Butler's acquisition sent to the team, dealing with trade rumors, what it means to remain a Warrior, and his upcoming free agency.